Hi, I'm Luce DeBay, and I love to talk about movies 24/7. I've been fascinated with films as long as I can remember, and I upload weekly. Today I'm going to be talking about Barbenheimer. I was originally supposed to be doing this video last Thursday. I had the whole day off of work, but my theater was out of power, so unfortunately I couldn't see it that day, and I didn't have another day off until yesterday, which is Monday. So now I'm finally reviewing Barbenheimer. I haven't seen anyone yet doing Barbenheimer's one video, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna talk about Oppenheimer first, and I'm gonna talk about Barbie, and then I'll give you my grades. All right. So starting out with Oppenheimer, it's a historical film about the atomic bomb, of course. It stars Cillian Murphy and every other actor on the planet. I can't name every single actor. There's so many. But I'm gonna talk about the positives. Of course, this movie is directed by Christopher Nolan. He is my favorite director. He did an amazing job directing this movie. It's very visually pleasing. All the shots are amazing from beginning to end. It's a beautiful looking movie. The beginning of this movie sets things up really well. I won't spoil anything, but Oppenheimer just kind of like in the early days, it sets up things really well and gets you intrigued. I thought the writing was very good. Like, there's a lot of characters and actors in this movie, and everyone's very well written. A lot of really great dialogue. And Christopher Nolan basically makes dialogue like action sequences. All the dialogue is very intriguing. Acting top notch. Cillian Murphy, Emily Blunt, Florence Pugh, Matt Damon, just to name a few, are awesome. There's so many people I haven't named, but everyone is amazing in the movie. Everyone portrays their characters well. I wouldn't say characters. It's kind of hard to say characters because it's based on real people, but they all play their parts really well, especially Cillian Murphy. He definitely embodied Oppenheimer. I didn't think of him as Cillian Murphy. I thought of him as Oppenheimer. Everyone nailed their performances. Absolutely phenomenal performances. The soundtrack and the main theme of the movie is really, really good. I really liked it. And I think it was the same composer as Tenet, I believe. So the soundtrack's amazing. This movie has some pretty good emotional aspects that are very good. I thought this movie was very intense, especially at the end, because I didn't know any. Obviously, I know a little bit about this stuff, but I didn't know the whole full story behind it. So I didn't know how everything's gonna play out. Especially the last 30 minutes, very intense. I was very engaged. I didn't think that's how the movie was going to end, but I'm glad it did, because that was I think one of the most engaging parts of the movie was the last 30 minutes. So I thought that was very well done. The flow of the movie is pretty good. It does get a little boring, just a little bit, not too much. Most of it is very good and engaging. Some parts just take me out of it. It's just too much going on. Runtime is 3 hours. It's a long movie. Don't necessarily think it needed to be 3 hours, but that might have been part of me. I just wanted to make sure I got out time to see Barbie, because I put the showdowns really close together. So that might have been part of it, to be fair. But could have been trimmed just a little bit. Like I said, this movie's just a little bit boring, just some of the time. Not barely at all. If I ever got bored, it usually caught my attention very quickly. Quickly caught my attention again. This movie is very tension-filled, just from the dialogue and just seeing what's going to happen and how the events unfold. The story is fascinating. Obviously, a true story. I didn't know about all this stuff and how it played out. I was like, wow, this is crazy. This is very interesting and very intriguing. I love true story movies and historical films, so I thought this was very, very good and definitely worth seeing. Humor. There's no humor. So there's one line that made people laugh. So I think there's probably one humorous moment. But besides that, it's a movie about a time bomb. It's not a movie gonna be about humor. But there was one joke that made people laugh. I would say visual effects, but Christopher Nolan does not do that. So no visual effects. So practical effects, I should say. stunning, all amazing. This movie looked perfect, so good. Absolutely loved how this movie looked. Beautiful movie. Sound design is really good. Um, I just have a couple of flaws with this movie. Like I said, sometimes there's just too much going on. It jumps around way too quickly. I wanted like everything was very fascinating, but I wanted some time to breathe. It was jumping around like going by really quick. You'd think for a 3 hour movie it wouldn't, but it does. It jumps around a lot. Sometimes it gets a little bit boring, but not too much. Like I said, most of the movie is very engaging. Um, and yeah, there's just too much going on. And some of the dialogue is hard to hear as well. But overall, I love this movie. It's very good. It's not one of my favorites, but Christopher Nolan is my favorite director, so it's hard to compare. Most of his movies are in my top favorites. I would put this on maybe the lower ends, not like bottom, maybe like bottom 3 or 4, maybe behind Dunkirk or something. I give it like an A-. Obviously that's still a high grade because he makes amazing movies. Um, so yeah, that's the first part of the review. Now let's get to Barbie. Um, this movie is about Barbie and Barbie world and all the Barbies and all the Kens, and her and Ken going to the real world. That's all I want to say without spoilers. It's directed by Greta Gerwig. Stars Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, America Ferrera, Simu Liu, and many other great actors. I will start with the positives. I did like the beginning of this movie. It sets things up really well. It's very fun and energetic. It gets you excited for what's going to happen. I thought the writing was surprisingly really good. That's not what I was expecting from a Barbie movie at all. It's actually, this movie is not for kids, so if you're like, oh, I want to take my kids to this movie, it's not really a kids movie. I mean, you could take your kid to it, but it's really not for kids. There's a lot of very adult jokes, so I would definitely take that into consideration before seeing it. Like, there's some jokes I was like, there's one joke I was like, wow, that's surprisingly adult. Like, there's a lot of adult jokes. So this is more for like people like a woman that grew up with like that are older that play with Barbies when they're kids, not for little girls and boys. So yeah, I would definitely keep that in mind. But I didn't personally mind that. I just was looking for a fun movie, and that's what it was. Directing is very good. This movie is beautiful. From the set design, the Barbie world, like all the pink and all the cars and dream houses, it actually looks like they're like in like the house and like in the car. Toy. This looks exactly like a toy. It was very very impressive. It looks really cool. And is beautifully shot. Very impressed by the directing. Greta Gerwig is a really good director. I've seen Little Woman. I still got to see Lady Bird, so I'll probably have to watch that, maybe tonight or something. Because the directing was absolutely phenomenal. Acting top notch. Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling, especially, they're the standouts in this movie. Everyone else is also very good. Really like the characters. Margot Robbie is Barbie. Simple as that. You couldn't have casted a better Barbie. She was perfect. So the funny moments and emotional moments. And Ryan Gosling was phenomenal as Ken. He was absolutely hilarious. He had most of the humorous moments that made people laugh. I was dying laughing at some of his parts, so I really like that. Soundtrack is really good. Like, I usually don't like musicals. I wouldn't call this a musical. I'd just call this a movie with some musical moments, and I usually don't like musicals. There's like a few I do like, but the musical moments I actually did like in this movie because it's fun and it kind of fits with Barbie, and also the songs are all really good. Ryan Gosling has this song called Just Ken, and it's really funny and actually really good, and performers did it very well. This movie flows perfectly. It goes by really quick. The runtime's about 2 hours, so perfect runtime for this movie. I was never bored watching this one. That's definitely a fun, entertaining movie. Definitely a good story. That was expecting, especially the ending, is much more emotionally impactful than I thought it would be. I won't spoil it, of course. But yeah, definitely very surprising for Barbie. This is not what I was expecting for a Barbie movie at all. Like, the ending was very, I don't even know how to describe it. I don't want to spoil it, so I won't. But it's very impactful. It's very surprising. Again, the humor is amazing. A lot of great jokes, so mostly a lot of them from Ryan Gosling. Visual effects in the movie is perfect, so this movie looks really, really cool. I didn't have too many flaws with this movie. Just like the business character of Will Ferrell, I just think maybe they're in it a little bit too much. Just some parts I didn't want. They're kind of going back to them. I mean, they were funny, but it was a little too. I know it's a bar movie, but their characters were just a little bit too serious because they're from the real world, and they're kind of overly silly that they felt like they belonged in Barbie world, which didn't fit. Like obviously it fits for Barbie world because the toys and stuff, and like there's like these other human characters like this mom and her daughter, which were very good, by the way. I like their characters, and they acted very well. But they acted very like normal. They didn't act like all silly and goofy, but these business characters did. So that kind of took me out of the movie a little bit. And there's just kind of like a lot of going on sometimes that just kind of took me out of it. But besides that, great movie. So also I would give this movie an A minus. Both awesome movies. That's probably the best double feature I ever saw. Um, Once in a while I try to go to a movie theater double feature. But I love these movies. They might be in my top 10 of the year. I'm gonna do a top 10 of the movie of the year so far video. So please look out for that. But overall, please definitely check out these movies. They're both worth your time. A great contrast. A very serious movie, very fun. I would definitely recommend seeing Oppenheimer than Barbie because obviously Oppenheimer is very dark and depressing, and then you can end with Barbie with being very fun. So definitely let me know what you guys think of these movies. I thought they were very good. I was very surprised by both of them. I knew I'd like them, but I ended up loving both of them. Again, I'd give both of them A minus. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I do appreciate it. Have a great day and take care. Bye.